If you are not consciously choosing your life every single day, you're not creating it at all. Your brain is simply repeating the familiar. Most people are living inside their neurological patterns that they're mistaking for their personality. The same thoughts, the same emotional patterns, the same behaviours, which equal the same identity over and over again in a loop, and they call that life. You're not creating anything, you are simply repeating the past. And they're wondering why nothing changes, but listen to me when I say if your internal world is predictable, then your external reality is eventually going to become predictable too. Welcome to Expand for More. I've restarted my podcast and I'm so excited to get in. This podcast is all about identity, neuroscience, our self-concept, and the patterns that are shaping your reality. And today we're going to talk about why most people are not actually creating their lives at all. And I'm so excited to be back. Those of you that have been on my word for a while know that podcasts have changed names a few times. But I'm really excited to start this again, and Expand for More is going to be brilliant, and we're going to host some really fun guests. And yeah, it's just going to be a great time. So let's dive in. Your brain has something what is called the default mode network, and this network is very heavily involved in your sense of self, repetitive thought patterns, and identity maintenance. And just if we break that down simply, all that means is that it helps your brain maintain the version of you that it already knows and has already practiced over and over again. Which means your brain is constantly referencing the past to predict the future, because that's all the data that it has, the past. And it's a prediction machine at the end of the day. So it's going to be predicting your future based on your past. Get it? Not because your brain is here to ruin your life, but because it loves you so much that it's predicting safety based on your past to your future, because it wants to live in the familiarity for efficiency, for predictability, and like I said, for safety, to keep you alive essentially. So every single day, most people are waking up and re-entering the same identity immediately by using the same assumptions, the same emotional baseline, the same internal dialogue, and getting the same results. Because the brain prioritizes the familiar, it's going to keep reproducing the same version of reality for you based on what it knows from your past. Most people think that they're actually observing their reality. They're not. They're actually predicting it. Your brain is constantly filtering information through your identity, your memories, your expectation, which means you don't see your reality objectively. You actually see it through the lens of who it is that you believe that you are. And this is why two people can experience the exact same situation but completely differently. One sees opportunity, one sees rejection, one speaks up with confidence, and one will hesitate and second guess. That one will move and just make the moves anyway, and the other one is going to wait for things to be perfect, procrastinate. I know this sounds familiar to you. You've got different identities, different nervous systems, which equals different prediction from your brain. This is exactly why I have created the expansion audio, because most people are trying to change their lives without actually interrupting the brain patterns that are keeping them creating the same reality every single day. So I've designed this audio to pull you out of repetition and reconnect you with a different self-concept of yourself and live a new internal standard. So the link is down below right now. You can start listening from today and loop that repetition. Repetition is what's going to help you make new neural pathways. Otherwise, you'll be stuck on living your life in autopilot, and we don't want that. Because the dangerous part is that autopilot feels personal. It feels like you're doing something. It feels like this is just who you are. I was just born this way. This is just who I am. They're repeating their thoughts, they're repeating their emotions, they're repeating their reactions to things. Therefore, they're repeating the same identity that is rehearsed so many times that it feels like yourself. But eventually your nervous system is going to become emotionally attached to that familiar zone, even when that familiar zone is limiting. You've heard me say it before, but your brain is not here for your expansion. Your brain is here to keep you safe and alive. So anything you try and do outside of the familiar or what you've done in your past will be labelled as dangerous. And no, we don't do that. We're going to die. And this is why people stay stuck, trapped in the same relationships, the same emotional cycles, the same visibility patterns, the same self-concept identity, and what they think they're worthy of having, because your brain predicts the familiar over the unknown. The unknown, like I said, is scary and it's dangerous. Even if you think that it's something that you really want to have, your brain is labeling it as painful and disruptive and no good for you. What trips up most people is that they think that the discomfort that they feel or the resistance they feel to something means that this isn't aligned for me. Maybe this is not what I'm supposed to be doing. That's not true necessarily. That's simply the discomfort sometimes means that this is just unfamiliar territory to the thing that I have already been rehearsing. And your nervous system is going to interrupt unfamiliarity as uncertainty. So like I said, anything that's not familiar is going to be labelled as uncertain and dangerous to your brain. Which is why expansion and our things that we want to do to up-level ourselves sometimes feel uncomfortable before it feels completely natural to us. Not because these things are wrong to do and that you're not supposed to be doing these things, because you haven't normalized it in your brain just yet. So a new life is going to begin the moment that you stop unconsciously rehearsing the old identity. That really is the shift that I want to help you step into. Not trying harder, not endlessly analysing the past. Oh my gosh, those of you who have been in my world for a while again will know that I really do not like the term healing. I don't feel that you need to go back and open old wounds to heal and move forward. We're not here for that. But consciously interrupting the identity that your brain returns to automatically, because if you don't interrupt this pattern, the default mode network is going to continue to produce again the same reality indefinitely over and over in a loop unless you interrupt it. And eventually you're going to stop creating your life. You're just going to be replaying it on repeat. And most people think time changes them. I just need to wait and things will change over time. No, it doesn't work that way. Repetition is what is going to create change for you. So the question that I want to ask you is, what identity is it that your brain has been rehearsing? And are you actually creating the life that you want consciously, with conscious thought, or are you just stuck in living in yesterday and the things that you've created and done in the past? I'm going to link the expansion audio below, and I'll see you in the next episode for Expand for More.